Hi guys, today I'm going to cover legislation and business, part of GCSE Business, AQA. So the principles of consumer law. So consumer law refers to government legislation that will protect the consumers from poor quality products and poor business practices. Now in the UK, there are two legislations that's going to help protect consumers. The Consumer Acts Right 2015 and the Consumer Protection Act 1987. So let's look into Consumer Acts Right 2015. So this act deals with the transactions between the seller and the buyer, and it protects consumers from dishonest business practices. It covers the product or service, returns, repairs and placements, and delivery. I'm going to go through each one of them right now in detail. So the product or service. The goods must be described accurately. The goods must do what they are designed to do. The goods should be of a good quality. The service must be delivered with care and good skill. And the service must be provided within a reasonable time. And the service must have a reasonable price. Returns. A consumer can reject or refund a product within 30 days of purchasing it. They can do this if the product is not described accurately and if it does not meet the right quality and standards. And if a fault occurs in the product within the first 6 months of purchase, then it is the company's responsibility. After the first 6 months, if there is any sort of damage, then it is the responsibility of the consumer. Repairs and placements. After the 30 days of purchase of the good or service, the consumer must give the business an opportunity to fix the issue with the product or service. However, if the opportunity of fixing the issue was unsuccessful, then the consumer has the right to refund the product and get their full money back. Delivery. Delivery of goods or service should be within 30 days unless agreed another time frame. The business is responsible for the goods until they reach the consumer, and if the good is not delivered within 30 days, then the consumer can get a full refund. Now, the Consumer Protection Act 1987. This act helps ensure that the products that are made are safe, which means that the business is responsible for any damage that is caused by the products. And that means that anyone can claim against the producer of the good or service if the product provides any damage. Principles of employment law. In the UK, there are 4 areas of employment legislation that form employee rights. The first one is recruitment. So this outlines what employers can and cannot do when recruiting staff. The second one is pay. So this ensures that the employees are paid the minimum wage. Then discrimination. This helps ensure that all employees are treated fairly. And health and safety. So this helps ensure that employees are safe while they work. Legislation while recruiting new staff. The employers must consider the Equality Act, which means that employers must treat employees fairly and they should not discriminate. Recruiters have to ensure that when collecting data, they comply with the Data Protection Act 2018. So all candidates that are applying, they must ensure that they give permission for their data to be used. And any data that they do not want to be used or for the business to hold, they can ask for that to be deleted. Legislation for once the staff has been recruited. So when an employee starts the job, the employer has to comply with the Employee Right Act 1996, which outlines the details of their employment within the first 2 months of them starting. So that document will cover their job title, where they're working, the date they're going to start working, the amount of hours they're required to work, and their salary. What businesses must do regarding the pay of employees. All businesses must pay their employees the minimum hourly rate. For those aged 16 to 24, they have the national minimum wage, and those above 25, they have the national living wage. What businesses must not do regarding the pay of employees. The Equality Act 2010 makes it illegal for a business to pay different rates to employees that are doing the same job. So for example, a business cannot pay a higher wage to a man and a lower wage to a woman that is doing the same job. And part of the Discrimination Equality Act 2010, there's age. So there should be no discrimination regarding the age. All aged employees should be treated the same. Employees, regardless of their gender, should be treated the same. There should not be a difference for employees that are pregnant or on maternity leave. They should not be discriminated against their race, their religion, their social orientation, regarding their marriage status, and regarding their disability. Health and safety. The Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 outlines the responsibilities that both the employer and employee have to keep the work environment safe. So employers should provide training and equipment. They should give them water, give access to toilets, and have first aid available. Employees are expected to follow the training. They have to use the safety equipment and the safety clothing that has been given to them. They have to take responsibility for their own safety and report any risks to their employer. In addition, the work time regulations specify how much the employees should work and how many breaks they are allowed. So they can only be asked to work 48 hours on average per week. They are entitled to 5.6 weeks holiday per year. They have a minimum of 1 day off per week, and they are allowed to take 20-minute breaks if they're working for more than 6 hours. Cost. Businesses must comply with the regulations of the government, but this means that they will have extra cost. This could be due to the time it takes to produce documents, follow the procedures, and make sure the obligations are met. So some of the additional costs that the business will encounter are, so part of the Health and Safety at Work Act, they have to make sure that they supply training and safety equipment. Part of the Consumer Protection Act, they have to test products to ensure that they meet minimum safety standards. Part of the Employment Rights Act, they have to provide a written statement of employment details within 2 months. Part of the National Minimum Wage, they have to pay staff higher wages. Working time regulations, so they have to employ additional staff to cover hours required. Pensions Act, they have to make financial contribution to employee pensions. Equality Act, they have to put processes in place and check that they are being implemented. Consumer Rights Act, check that the promotional material is accurate and that they implement quality control. And Data Protection Act, review the data that is held and delete it when it is no longer required. Consequences of the business meeting the obligations. So if a business provides services and goods that meet the legal regulations, they're going to have a good reputation. Their staff will work harder, their staff are more likely to stay in the business, and the business will make more sales. However, there are consequences of them not meeting the obligations. And if they do not meet the obligations, then the employers could find themselves in court. The employers could face legal fines. The reputation of the business would be ruined and they would make less sales, and suppliers and stakeholders would not associate themselves with the business. Hopefully this video helped you understand legislation and business. If you want to see more videos like this, then like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you want to follow for regular updates on videos and resources, then follow my Instagram. If you want to see short business clips, revision clips, then follow my TikTok. And if you want resources to this video, then my test shop is in my link down below.